Shalom, shalom. Shalom. How's everybody week?
Good.
Super duper dry. Productive. Like my aunt brought last week, brought out, did everybody, you still got that leaven out of you, right? Yeah. Still got that leaven out of you, right?
You see, like since his lesson, and you know what's happening, it's like you're being faced with more things. Do that make sense?
Absolutely, because you're aware of it.
Yeah, and yeah, but we gotta learn how to not we. Gotta learn how to control it because they know exactly what to do and I have to think first, the Mashiach first before reacting.
All right, absolutely. All right, so we definitely hope everybody got and keeping that leaven out of the heart. Well, like I brought out 2 powerful joints last week. Nasi, don't sit down somewhere. 2 powerful joints last week, you know. So, you know, I always test everything that I do. Like about a month and a half ago when this lesson first came to my mind to do, I posed a question on Facebook. Have you ever been jealous or hated somebody for no reason? So I'm asking that to y'all in here today. Have you ever did that?
Not for no reason. It was always a reason. I not hate, but dislike the person.
Right.
It was either or just a bad feeling from them.
And then you think like, okay, why don't I like this person? What did this person do? The person just walked in the room and sat down. I can't stand that heifer.
See how she sat down? Sit down like she was all that.
Like, what is that? You know what I'm saying? So you got to think, why is this? And this thing right here is deep. We're going to see how this thing goes. Because it's a battle between light and darkness, or good and evil. The children of the light versus the children of the darkness. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times if you feel this way about somebody, especially for no reason, you never met them, never spoke to them, and you feel this way, it's something within you. It's something that's going on with you. Because if you can ask the person, what did that man ever do to you? Nothing. So why you feel like you can't stand him? Why when you saw that, I heifer make me sick, why did you say that? You know what I'm saying? And it's because the Most High, you really ain't mad at the person most of the time. It really go back to you being mad at the Most High. And we're going to see how all of this stuff tie in. Again, it's light and darkness that we going with today. And this thing called jealousy. So if you got jealousy in your heart, which is leaven, you better get it out. Because we're going to see today that this thing right here can cause you to do some stuff that you really, really don't want to do. And once you say certain things and do certain things, it ain't no pulling it back. It's out there. Once you say it, you can't get it back. You know what I'm saying? So, like, why is everybody attracted to diamonds and gold and silver and things like this? Is it what? They shine, right? Is it the item that really shines? Or what makes it shine? The light makes it shine. Right? So the object really ain't doing nothing. Because when you turn the light off, what happened? You don't even see it no more. Because it's the light that actually makes it shine. You know what I'm saying? But a man with wisdom even if you turn the light off, when he continue to speak, he's still gonna what? Still gonna shine. See what I'm saying?
So shining is what's making people jealous of you. Because you're shining. Either way, shining in the truth, they hating on you. Shining with the other stuff, they hating on you.
Right.
So the shine is what's
Exactly. So it's the light.
shining
Light.
on you.
So we're gonna get into this light, darkness. These two things battle with each other. They at war with each other. We're gonna show you how this stuff play out all through the scriptures. All right. So let's get into this first thing. Let's get Genesis chapter 1. We're picking it up from the beginning. Genesis chapter 1.
Genesis chapter 1 and verse 1. In the beginning, the Most High created Shamayim and the earth. And the earth was without form and void. And darkness was
And what?
and darkness
And darkness. Go ahead.
was upon the face of the deep. And the Ruach of Yahuwah moved upon the face of the waters.
So right here we got the darkness. Right? Go ahead.
And the Most High said, let there be light.
Let there be what?
Let there be light.
Let there be light. Now, what is darkness? Absolutely. It's the absence of light. That's what darkness is. It's the absence of light. All what we got right here, and let's see, according to Scripture, what light is. Let's get Psalms 43 and 3. Psalms 43 and 3.
The book of Psalms, chapter 43 and verse 3. Oh, send out your light.
Send out what?
Oh, send out your light
Send out your light. Go ahead.
and your truth. Let them lead me.
Let them do what?
Let them lead me.
So the light will do what for you? It'll lead you. Hamashiach said, I'm the what? The light, the truth, and the way. All these things. Read that from the top again.
Verse 3. Oh, send out your light and your truth. Let them lead me. Let them bring me unto the set apart hill.
Let them do what?
Let them bring me unto the set apart hill.
Let them bring me to the set apart hill. Psalms 119 and 105. Psalms 119 and 105.
The book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 105. Your word is a lamp unto my feet.
Is a what?
Is a lamp unto my feet.
So the word is a lamp unto your feet. You walk with your feet and they take you somewhere, but the light is what guides you to this. Read it from the top one more time.
Your word is a lamp unto my feet
Go ahead.
and a light unto my path.
And a light unto my path. So this word, which is a Mashiach, is a lamp and a light to your feet to lead you to the holy hill or the Kodesh mountain. Let's go back to Genesis.
Genesis chapter 1 and verse 3. And the Most High said, let there be light. And there was light. And the Most High saw the light, that it was good.
That it was what?
That it was good.
So he said that the light was good, but he didn't say nothing about the darkness. So let's find out what is darkness according to the scriptures. Let's get all what we got. We coming back. Let's get John chapter 3 and verse 4.
The book of John, chapter 3 and verse 4. Nicodemus said unto
First John, my bad. 1 John 3 and 4.
The book of 1 John, chapter 3, and verse 4. Whosoever commits sin transgresses also the law.
So sin automatically puts you in darkness. Read that from the top again.
Whosoever commits sin transgresses also the law.
So whosoever commits sin transgresses also the law. Psalms 107 and 14. Psalms 107 and verse 14.
Psalms 107 and 14. He brought them out of darkness.
He brought them out of what?
He brought them out of
He
darkness.
brought them out of darkness. Go ahead.
And the shadow of death.
And what?
And the shadow of death.
And the shadow of death. So sin automatically puts you into darkness. All right, let's go back. Let's go back to Genesis and pick it up at verse 4.
Genesis 1 and 4. And the Most High saw the light, that it was good. And the Most High divided the light from the darkness.
He did what?
He divided the light from the darkness.
He separated light from darkness. Right then and there. Now these two things, they don't coincide anymore because he separated them. Separated them, the sheep from the goat. Right? He separated these two things. Right here, they don't mix anymore. Only time they got anything to do with each other is in the evening and in the morning when they mingle a little bit for a little while. You know what I'm saying? Just for a little while. But usually when one show up, the other one leave. All right? Keep that in mind. Read that again. All right?
Verse 4. And the Most High saw the light, that it was good.
So the light was good. He didn't say nothing about the darkness. Read.
And the Most High divided the light from the darkness. And the Most High called the light day, and the darkness he called night.
So he said the darkness he called night, and the light day. Let's see what that light was. Let's get John chapter 1. Pick it up at verse 4.
Same John, 1 John.
No. Big John. John chapter 1. Let's pick it up at verse 4.
The book of John, chapter 1 and verse 4. In him was life, and the light was the light of men.
It was what?
Was the light of men.
This is Hamashiach. In him was life, and the life was the light of men. Go ahead.
And the light shines in darkness.
They do what?
The light shines in darkness.
Because he said, let there be light. Go ahead.
And the darkness comprehended it not.
It don't overpower it. Go ahead.
There was a man sent from the Most High, whose name was John. The same came for a witness to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe.
And all men through him might believe. Go ahead.
He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light, which lights every man that comes into the world.
So this true light is Hamashiach. All right. Let's get Exodus chapter 10 and verse 22. So the Most High chose a special people unto himself, and he gave these people light. And since he gave these people light, the rest of the world, they don't like it. Exodus chapter 10 and verse 22.
The book of Exodus 10 and 22. And Moses stretched forth his hand.
He did what?
Stretched forth his hand.
Go ahead.
Toward Shamaim. And there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days.
How long?
3 days.
3 days. Read on.
They saw not one another.
So it was so dark that people couldn't see one another. Go ahead.
Neither they saw not one another. neither rose any from his place for 3 days.
For how long?
For 3 days.
For 3 days. Read.
But all the children of Israel had light in their dwellings.
So all the children of Israel, even though everybody else, the whole world was in darkness, the children of Israel had what?
Had light.
They had light. So let's see something. Let's get 1 Thessalonians. First Thessalonians. Chapter 5. And we're going to pick it up at verse 4.
1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and 4. But you, brethren, are not in darkness.
You are not in what?
In darkness.
You are not in darkness. Read.
That day should overtake you as a thief. You are all the children of the light.
You're what?
Are all the children of the light.
So you can either be a child of the light or a child of the darkness. Now he chose out a specific people to be the children of the light. But if you go off and do what he told you not to do, you become what? Child of the darkness. Read.
But you, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. You are all the children of the light and the children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others.
Let us not do what?
Let us not sleep as do others.
Go ahead.
But let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep, sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night.
They do these things at night for the most part. Now, they told us that we're supposed to be resting at night. But this society then created a 24-hour society where you doing things at night when you're supposed to be asleep. But evil comes out at night, out of the darkness. And they know it. So they try to get us to be a part of it. Because the children of the darkness hates the children of the light. It's automatically a jealous. So we got all of these different dynamics, which we're about to show. Flesh versus the spirit, Satan versus man, brother versus brother, all of these dynamics, all because a certain people got light and a certain people didn't get it. So let's go back to the beginning. Let's go to, matter of fact, let's get 1 Corinthians 1 and 50. First Corinthians 1. No, I mean 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 50. Just like Trav showed you last week, the reason why the flesh is jealous of the spirit.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15 and verse 50. Now, this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of the Most High. Neither does corruption inherit incorruption.
So the reason why that this flesh is jealous, just like Trav brought out last week, the reason why it's jealous, because it can't get in. So its hopes is the whole time is to keep the spirit from getting back to the Most High, because it's jealous of it. First dynamics of it. Let's get to the APOC. Let's get Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2 and 24. It's going to all tie in a minute. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 24.
Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 24. Nevertheless, through envy.
Through what?
Through envy.
Through the jealous of who?
Through envy of the devil came death.
Came what?
Came death into the world.
Through envy. He was jealous. So he he set out to trick Adam because he was envious of him. He was jealous of him. Read it again.
Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world.
Came death into the world because of envy. Light and darkness. That it on that verse?
And they that do hold of his side do find it.
And they that do these things, you're going to find it. All right, let's go to Genesis chapter 3. So we got the flesh versus the spirit, Satan versus the man. Genesis 3 and 17.
Book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse 17. And unto Adam he said, because you have hearkened unto the voice of your wife, and have eaten of the tree of which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat of it, cursed is the ground for your sake. In sorrow shall you eat of it all the days of your life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to you, and you shall eat the herb of the field.
So right here, because you did this, because you listened to your wife, he said, thorns and thistles shall it bring forth to you, and thou shalt eat of the herb of the field. It's going to make sense in a minute. Let's get 2 Samuel chapter 23. 2 Samuel chapter 23. And pick it up at verse 1. Second Samuel 23 and verse 1.
2 Samuel chapter 23 and verse 1. Now these be the last words of David. David, the son of Jesse, said, and the man who was raised up on high, the anointed of the Most High of Jacob, and the sweet psalmist of Israel said, the Spirit of Yahuwah spake by me, and his word was in my tongue. The Most High of Israel said, the Rock of Israel spake to me. He that rules over men must be just.
Must be what?
Must be just.
It must be just. Read.
Ruling in the fear of the Most High. And he shall be as the light of the morning.
As the what?
As the light of the morning.
He got to be like the light of the morning, or the morning star. Read.
When the sun rises, even a morning without clouds, as the tender grass springs out of the earth by clear shining of after rain. Although my house be not so with the Most High, yet he have made with me an everlasting covenant, ordered in all things and sure. For this is all my salvation.
This is what?
This is all my salvation.
Go ahead.
And all my desire, although he make it not to grow. But the sons of Belial.
But the sons of Belial. Anybody know who Belial is? It's another word for Satan. Go ahead. But the sons of Belial. Go ahead.
But the sons of Belial shall be all of them as thorns.
As what?
As thorns.
What came up from Adam when he said thorns came up, right? He said, but these sons of Belial, they're going to be thorns in your side. Go ahead. Verse 6.
But the sons of Belial shall be all of them as thorns, thrust away, because they cannot be taken with hands.
So you can't touch these because they like thorns. Go ahead.
But the man that shall touch them must be fenced with iron and the staff of a spear, and they shall be utterly burned with fire in the same place.
In the same place. The same place Trav was talking about last week, matter of fact. All right. Hold it. Matter of fact, let's get Numbers 33. So he said that these sons of Belial was going to be thorns to you. Give me the definition for Sinai. No, it's gonna be Psalm 68, chapter 2. Numbers 33 and 35.
The book of Numbers, chapter 33, verse 35. And they departed from Hebron and encamped in Ezion-Geber. And they removed from Ezion-Geber and pitched in the wilderness of Zin, which is Kadesh. And they removed from Kadesh and pitched in Mount Hor, and in the edge of the land of Edom. And Aharon, the priest, went up into Mount Hor at the commandment of Yahuwah, and died there.
All right. I got the wrong spot. But matter of fact, get me Psalm 68. Because I'm gonna show you something about this thorns. 68 and 17.
Psalm 68 and 17. The chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of Malachim. The Master is among them, as in Sinai, in the set-apart place.
As in where?
As in Sinai, in the set-apart place.
Give me the definition for Sinai.
Comes from the Hebrew, the H55:14, and it's thorny.
Is what?
Thorny.
It means what?
Thorny.
Thorny. So he said that the children of Belial was going to be as thorns to you, and they're going to be thorns in your side. Where's Mount Sinai at?
In the red.
So he's trying to show us something right here, that the children of the darkness abide in this place. Because he told us. Now, what kind of crown did they put on the Messiah? Crown of thorns, right? What's the flower that all the women like? What they got on it? But the Messiah talks about, he talk about the lily being the most beautiful flower. I ain't never heard women talk about the lily. Oh, Sakari like the lily now.
Yeah, I'm different from everybody else. She said she the light. She the light. She ain't dealing with that darkness.
So you see the dynamics right here. He told us that these thorns, these people was going to be a thorn in your side. Sinai just ironically means thorny. Let's get Matthew 5. Matthew 5 and 9. So again, we know that the children of the dark despise the children of the day because of something. So think about this. When you got that light outside, right, in the night, everything is attracted to the light, right? All the bugs and everything is trying to get on it. Especially when you got that zapper thing, right? Even though all the rest of the bugs saw Gregory the grasshopper fly into it and die. But they still keep doing it. Hey, I wonder, can I get close? What did it do to me? But I don't. It's foolishness. Same thing with people. Matthew 5 and 9.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of the Most High.
Go ahead.
Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of Shamaim.
So when the people going against you, come to this. Give you a little bit of solace, make you feel a little bit better. Go ahead.
Blessed are you when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad.
So when they say, I can't stand that heifer, you're supposed to jump up and do the Toyota. You're supposed to be exceedingly happy when these people do this. Go ahead.
For great is your reward in Shamayim.
For great is your reward in Shamayim. They despise you because you are the children of the light. Go ahead.
For so prosecuted they the prophets.
So they did what?
For so prosecuted they the prophets.
So they did this to the prophets. So the prophets was walking around and the people despised them. Go ahead.
Which were before you. You are the salt of the earth.
You the what?
The salt of the earth.
You got the flavor. Go ahead.
But if the salt have lost his savor.
You the Lorries. This is what it's trying to. You the Lorries. You that good seasoned salt. Without that seasoned salt, the meat ain't no good. Right? Read.
But what if the salt have lost its savor? Wherewith shall it be salted? It is therefore good for nothing.
It's what?
Therefore good for nothing.
You can have any type of meat you want, but if you ain't got that seasoning on it, I don't want to eat that. It's bland. Exactly. You got your casserole. Go ahead.
It is therefore good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under foot of men.
Go ahead.
You are the light of the world.
You're what?
You are the light of the world.
You are the light of the world. So the people that got the light, the rest of the world despises them. Go ahead.
A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel.
So you don't light a candle and set it up under the table. You don't do that. So this telling you that the light can't be hid. You put it under the bushel or a table or something, it's going to burn it up. Can't hide a city that's on top of a hill, can't be hidden. Because everybody can see it. Most people can't stand it. Go ahead.
Let your light so shine before men.
So let your light shine. This little light of mine. Go ahead.
That they may see your good works and glorify your Father, which is in Shamayim.
So your good works, your light that he give you, it's supposed to be so you can glorify the Most High or give him esteem. That's what, if you got it, that's what it's supposed to be for. Matthew 23. Matthew 23 and 34.
The book of Matthew, chapter 23 and verse 34. Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets.
I send unto you prophets. Go ahead.
And wise men, and scribes, and some of them you shall kill and crucify.
Some of them you're going to kill and crucify. Why would you kill the people that the power is sent to you?
Because they got the light.
Got the light. But the false prophet can come up and you will love him. You will donate $200 so he can get a jet. You love the false prophet. The one that's going to tell you a lie, you absolutely love him. Go ahead. Verse 34.
Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets, and wise men, and scribes, and some of them you shall kill and crucify, and some of them you shall scourge in your synagogues, and persecute them from city to city, that upon you may come all the righteous blood.
All the righteous blood from who?
Shed upon the earth, from the blood of the righteous Abel.
Oh, he said from the blood of Abel. He took you back to the beginning. All of this blood gonna come upon you from the blood of righteous Abel. Read.
Unto the blood of Zacharias, son of Barachias, whom you slew between the temple and the altar.
So since he mentioned all the way back to Abel, let's go back to Abel. See what he's talking about. Genesis chapter 4. So we already seen that the spirit, that the flesh is jealous of the spirit, Satan is jealous of the man. Let's see something right here. Genesis chapter 4, and let's pick it up at verse 1.
Genesis 4:1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from Yahuwah.
So Cain is the firstborn. Go ahead.
And she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel was a keeper of sheep.
He was what?
A keeper of sheep.
So equate Abel as a shepherd, right? Because he tends to the sheep. Keep that in mind. Read.
But Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in process of time it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto Yahuwah. And Abel he also brought of the firstling of his flock, and the fat thereof. And Yahuwah had respect unto Abel and his offering, but unto Cain and to his offering he had no respect.
Go ahead.
And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell.
So Cain is mad now because the Most High is not accepting what he's bringing. Do Abel have anything to do with this?
Absolutely not.
He don't have nothing to do with what he brought, right? All right. Read on.
And Yahuwah said unto Cain, Why are you wroth?
Why are you so mad, homie? What's going on with you? Why are you mad? Read.
And why is your countenance fallen? If you do well, shall you not be accepted? And if you do not well, sin lies at the door.
So he just gave Abel the same thing that he gave us in the wilderness. I set before you this day life and death. Choose. Again, Abel don't have nothing to do with this that's going on right now. Right? Read.
And unto you shall be his desire, and you shall rule over him, and you shall rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field, and Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him.
He did what?
He slew him.
So Cain just rose up against his brother and slew him. Who is Cain really mad at? He's really mad at the Most High. But since you can't get the Most High, you're going to get the one that he gave the light to, that you mad about. Read verse 8 again.
And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother, and slew him.
And did what?
And slew him.
And slew him. Let's get Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 8. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 8. Go ahead.
1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 8. He therefore that despises not man.
He did what?
He despises not man.
So you don't despise man, read.
But the Most High.
But who?
But the Most High.
So you call yourself being mad at that person, which he called himself mad at Abel. He was really mad at the Most High. Read that from the top again.
He therefore that despises not man, but the Most High, who have also given unto us his set apart spirit.
Is what?
His set apart spirit.
So the Messiah said, from the righteous blood of righteous Abel. So Abel had it, and you slew him because you was really mad at the Most High. So when the Most High give his people the light, and you speak against that person or those people, you really, really not speaking against the person, but who? The Most High. It's a dangerous thing. Let's get Genesis 9 and 6. Genesis 9 and 6. Because you're saying that he really ain't know what he was doing. He should have picked me.
Book of Genesis, chapter 9 and verse 6. Whoso shed his man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed.
Why is that?
For in the image of Yahuwah made he man.
So it's like you trying to kill the Most High. Read it again.
Whoso shed his man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of the Most High made he man.
So when you mad at the man of the Most High, or the man that he gave the light to, you really like you trying to kill the Most High. Y'all ever looked at that in that way before? You really call yourself killing the Most High because he in the image of him. He walking in his light. So we see Cain really mad at the Most High, takes it out on his brother just for telling him the truth. Let's get 1 Samuel 15. 1 Samuel 15. Again, Abel didn't have nothing to do with none of that. He just took what he was required to do, right? He didn't have nothing to do with the Most High telling Cain, none of that stuff. Keep that in mind. 1 Samuel 15 and 1.
1 Samuel 15 and verse 1. Samuel also said unto Saul, Yahuwah sent me to anoint you to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore, listen you unto the voice of the words of Yahuwah. Thus saith Yahuwah of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way, and when he came up from Egypt. Now go and smite Amalek.
Do what?
Go and smite Amalek.
Go and smite Amalek. Read.
And utterly destroy all that they have, and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and donkey.
So he told him a direct order. Go in there and take everything out. Don't let a roach survive. Kill everything in there. A direct order, right? Jump down to verse 8.
Verse 8. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive.
He did what?
And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive.
He told him to go and kill everything. Agag especially, because he the king of them. Don't let him live. You just broke a direct commandment from the Most High. Read.
And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. But Shaul and the people spared Agag, and the best of the sheep, and of the oxen, and of the fatlings, and the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them, but everything that was vile, and refused, that they destroyed utterly.
Yep, keep going.
Then came the word of Yahuwah unto Samuel, saying, It repents me that I have set up Saul to be king.
Again, does David have anything to do with this?
No.
David don't have nothing to do with this. It's his own doing that's going to get the kingdom took from him. Right here, verse 11, it says, It repenteth me that I have set up Saul to be king. Go ahead.
For he is turned back from following me, and have not performed my commandments. And it grieved Samuel, and he cried unto Yahuwah all night.
So this thing it's got Samuel sick about it, because he liked this guy. He personally liked him. So he's sick about it. Oh man. Oh man, why didn't you just do what he told you to do? Read on.
And when Samuel rose early to meet Saul in the morning, it was told Samuel, saying, Saul came to Carmel, and behold, he set him up a place, and is gone about, and passed on, and going down to Gilgal. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be you of Yahuwah. I have performed the commandment of Yahuwah.
Now he's going to tell a lie. I did what he told me to do. I took care. Everybody did. All the sheep, everything is dead. I did what you said. Agag is dead. Now you're lying. Go ahead.
And Samuel said, What means then this bleating of the sheep in my ears?
Wait a minute. I thought you killed everything. Why I hear them sheep? You didn't do what he told you to do. Go ahead.
And the lowing of the oxen which I hear.
So I hear the ox out there. And you're supposed to kill everything. So let's see something. He said it repented him that he has set up Saul to be king. Let's go to 1 Samuel 16 and 1. 1 Samuel chapter 16 and verse 1.
Verse 1. And Yahuwah said unto Samuel, How long will you mourn for Saul?
How long you going to keep crying for this dude? How long you going to keep this up? It's his own fault. Read.
Seeing I have rejected him from the reign over Israel.
So he said, I rejected him. Again, does David have anything to do with this? David don't have nothing to do with this. His disobedience got the kingdom took from him. Keep that in mind. Finish that out.
Fill your horn with oil and go. I will send you to Jesse in Bethlehem, the Bethlehemite, for I have provided me a king among his sons. And Samuel did. How can I go? And Samuel said, How can I go? If Saul hear it, he will kill me.
So he afraid. If I go, Saul gonna kill me, man. You got the Most High with you. You worried about a man. But the Most High directly talking to you, and you worried about a man. Finish that out.
And Yahuwah said, Take a heifer with you, and say, I am come to sacrifice to Yahuwah, and call Jesse to the sacrifice, and I will show you what you shall do.
All right. Jump down to verse 6.
Verse 6. And it came to pass, when they were come, that he looked on Eliab, and said, Surely Yahuwah's anointed is before him.
So he looked at this guy and said, oh man, dude is 6'6" and got muscles and everything. Surely that's the one you're going to choose. Surely that's the guy right there. Read.
But Yahuwah said unto Samuel, Look not on his countenance.
Don't look at his countenance. Read.
Or on his height.
Don't look at his height and his statue. Don't. He didn't say 5'5". So he's saying, look not on his height or his statue. Don't look at that. Read verse 7 again from the top.
Verse 7. But Yahuwah said unto Samuel, Look not on his countenance, or on his height of his stature, because I have refused him.
I did what?
I have refused him.
I have refused him. Remember, my thoughts are higher than your thoughts. My ways are not your ways. Read.
For Yahuwah seeth not as a man sees. For man looks on the outward appearance, but Yahuwah looks on the heart.
So he says, man looketh on the outward Pharisee outfits of appearance, but Yahuwah looketh on the heart. Wow. He said, Yahuwah looketh on the heart. Let's see why. Let's hold what we got right here, and let's get Luke 16:15. Luke 16 and verse 15.
The book of Luke, chapter 16 and verse 15. And he said unto them, You are they which justify yourselves before men.
Go ahead.
But Yahuwah knows your hearts, For that which is highly esteemed among men,
That is what?
that which is highly esteemed among men,
So everybody that man look to and think that he's something great, what does the Most High feel about it?
is abomination in the sight of Yahuwah.
So, again, you thinking you know better than the Most High. You should pick him. He's 6'6". He can bring in many people. He can get a Nike contract. Let's go back to that 1 Samuel. And we're going to pick it up at chapter 20. 1 Samuel chapter 20. And we're going to pick it up at verse. No, matter of fact, go back to the 16, chapter 16, and we're going to pick it up at verse 20.
First Samuel chapter 16 and verse 20. And Jesse took a donkey laden with bread, and a bottle of wine, and a kid, and sent them by David his son unto Saul.
Jump back to verse 13.
Verse 13. Then Samuel took the horn of oil and anointed him in the midst of his brethren. And the Spirit of Yahuwah came upon David from that day forward. So Samuel rose up and went to Ramah.
So right here, David don't have absolutely nothing to do with Saul losing the kingdom. He have nothing to do with it. So why is Saul so mad at David? But David don't have nothing to do with it.
Mad at the Most High.
Exactly. You really mad because the Most High took the kingdom from you. David don't have no role in this. David was tending the sheep, minding his own business. Now let's go to 1 Samuel 20. And verse 27.
1 Samuel chapter 20 and verse 27. And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the second day of the month, that David's place was empty. And Saul said unto Jonathan, his son, Wherefore comes not the son of Jesse to me, neither yesterday nor today? And Jonathan answered Saul, David earnestly asked leave of me to go to Bethlehem. And he said, Let me go, I pray you, for our family have a sacrifice in the city. And my brother, he have commanded me to be there. And now, if I have found favor in your eyes, let me get away, I pray you, and see my brethren. Therefore he comes not unto the king's table. Then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan.
His what?
His anger was kindled against Jonathan.
So right here, Saul is mad at his son. Let's see why. Read.
And he said unto him, You son of a perverse.
You son of a what?
You son of a perverse, rebellious woman.
Ooh, so in today's time, what was he trying? Wait a minute.
So you know you was black.
Wow. And that again, that shows you that he was black. Yeah, you Read verse 30 again.
Then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan. And he said unto him, You son of a perverse, rebellious woman, do not I know that you have chosen the son of Jesse to your own confusion, and unto the confusion of your mother's nakedness?
So he say, you chose David over me. See, Jonathan didn't care about no family stuff, even though his daddy the king, but he know David is righteous. He ain't say, well, my family did this, so I'm going to ride with them. He gonna ride with the truth.
Absolutely.
Verse 31. For as long as the son of Jesse lives upon the ground, you shall not be established, nor your kingdom.
Wait a minute. This guy delusional. He says, for as long as the son of Jesse, meaning David, liveth upon the ground, thou shalt not be established, nor your kingdom. He done lost his mind. He blinded with rage and jealousy that he can't even see. The kingdom been took from you. And David don't have nothing to do with it.
He killed David. Jonathan automatically.
Go ahead, finish that out.
Wherefore, now send and fetch him unto me, for he shall surely die.
For he shall surely die. Let's go back. 1 Samuel 18. Let's pick it up at verse 5. 1 Samuel 18 and 5. Son of a...
1 Samuel chapter 18 and 5. And when David went out, wheresoever Saul sent him.
So he was doing what he was ordered to do. Wherever he sent him. You can't say he wasn't rocking, he wasn't doing stuff right. Read.
And behaved himself wisely. And Saul set him over the men of war. And he was accepted in the sight of all the people, and also in the sight of Saul's servants. And it came to pass, as they came, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Philistines, that the women came out of all the cities of Israel singing and dancing.
Women was doing what?
Singing and dancing.
Women was singing and dancing. I hope they wasn't twerking or something. Nothing new under the sun, right? Go ahead.
To meet King Saul with tabrets, with joy, and with instruments of music. And the women answered one another as they played, and said, Saul hath slain his thousands.
So Saul has slain his thousands, read.
And David his 10,000.
And David his 10,000. So this like your first cheerleaders. D-A.
Give me a D. Give me a dollar.
Give me a dollar.
Read verse 7 again.
And when the women answered one another as they played and said, Saul hath slain his thousands, and David his 10,000s. And Saul was very wroth.
Oh, he was very wroth. Super duper mad. I'm the king and they singing for him. Go ahead.
And the saying displeased him. And he said, they have ascribed unto David 10,000, and unto me they have ascribed but thousands.
That boy hot under the collar. He's sick about it. Y'all giving this peon my praise over the king? Again, David don't have nothing to do with none of this. Read.
And what can he have more but the kingdom?
But he already gave it to him because he already anointed him. This guy's delusional. His anger got him sick. Go ahead.
And Saul eyed David.
He did what?
He eyed David.
He eyed David every time David came.
Stick guy. Here go Jesse.
Cut his eyes, Eddie.
Here go the son of Jesse. Walking in. Look at how he walks like that.
Oh, let's get Matthew. It says, and Saul eyed David from that day and forward. Oh, what we got right here. Let's get Matthew 6 and 22. Matthew 6 and 22. Matthew chapter 6, verse 22.
The book of Matthew 6 and 22. And the light of the body is the eye.
The light of what?
And the light of the body is the eye.
The light of the body is the eye. It said that Saul eyed David. Go ahead.
If therefore your eye be single, your whole body shall be full of light. But if your eye be evil, your whole body shall be full of darkness.
Shall be full of what?
Darkness.
Shall be full of darkness. So he let jealousy get in on him. This make you full of darkness. And David don't got nothing to do with you losing the kingdom. You lost it all on your own because you didn't do what he told you to do. Just that simple. Read that 23 again.
But if your eye be evil, your whole body shall be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in you be darkness, how great is that darkness?
How messed up is that anger in you? Because you're doing it all out of jealousy. Let's see what this anger and this jealousy, when you get this darkness in your eye, causes you to do. Let's go back to that Samuel 18, and let's pick it up at verse 9 again.
Verse 9. And Saul eyed David from that day and forward.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit from Yahuwah.
That the what?
That the evil spirit from Yahuwah.
So it's showing you that the Most High will give you over to your desire, what you want to do, even though you know it's wrong. He'll give you over to it. Just like the story Trev brought out last week when he told the king of Israel, don't go to war, go home. And he wanted to do it anyway. Okay, since I already told you and warned you what's going to happen, I'm going to send you anyway. Because he'll give you over to your desire. Read that verse 10 again.
Verse 10. And it came to pass on the morrow that the evil spirit from Yahuwah came upon Saul, and he prophesied in the midst of the house. And David played with his hand.
So David in there getting down. Played with his hand. Go ahead.
As at other times. And there was a javelin in Saul's hand.
Oh, just magically a javelin jumped in Saul's hand. Wow. Go ahead.
And Saul cast the javelin, for he said, I will smite David, even to the wall.
I'm trying to kill this dude. I'm sick of him. He can play good on the piano. He handsome. Everything. They screaming for him and not for me. I got to get rid of him.
He said this is why David was sick.
Go ahead.
And David avoided out of his presence twice. And Saul was afraid of David because Yahuwah was with him and was departed from Saul.
And was what?
And was departed from Saul.
And was departed from Saul. Again, David don't have absolutely nothing to do with this. So since Saul is jealous, what does this take him to? Darkness, anger. Let's get Leviticus 19 and 17. Gotta be careful. You let that spirit get on you. It's a dangerous thing. To show you that you'll do some stuff that you never thought you would do in a million years. Leviticus 19 and 17.
Leviticus chapter 19 and verse 17. You shall not hate your brother in your heart.
You shall what?
You shall not hate your brother in your heart.
You shall not hate your brother in your heart. He just broke this. But why did he do it? Jealousy, envy, all of these things is the reason why he done this. So David was a keeper of the sheep. Abel was a keeper of the sheep. Let's see something right now. Exodus 3 and 1. Exodus chapter 3 and 1. Remember, you don't choose. You don't go to the Most High and say, could I get some like Most High? Could you make me like this? You don't go to him. He chooses you. You know what I'm saying? It's not up to no man who he gives a like to. It's his own free will to do it. So let's get Exodus chapter 3 and verse 1.
Exodus 3 and 1. Now Moshe kept the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law.
So right here, Moses is also a keeper of the sheep. Amashiach is a keeper of the sheep. All these people were the keepers of the sheep. Jump down to verse 11.
Verse 11. And Moshe said unto the Most High, Who am I, that I should go to Pharaoh, and that I should bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt?
Sound like Moses don't want the job, right? So Moses is making, if you read this whole chapter, Moses is making up a gang of excuses because he don't want the job. He don't want the light. Go ahead.
And he said, certainly I will be with you, and this shall be a token unto you that I have sent you. When you have brought forth the people out of Egypt, you shall serve the Most High upon this mountain. And Moses said unto the Most High, behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, the power of your fathers have sent me unto you, and they shall say unto me, what is his name? What shall I say unto them?
He didn't say that. Let's get Exodus chapter 4 and 1. No, he didn't say that to me.
Chapter 4 and verse 1. And Moshe answered and said, behold, they will not believe me.
So he's doing all these miracles because Moses don't want the job. Because Moses and none of them didn't go to him and ask for it. He chose them and gave it to them. Go ahead.
They will not believe me, nor hearken unto my voice. For they will say, Yahuwah have not appeared unto you.
They don't believe me. Go ahead.
And Yahuwah said unto him, what's in your hand? And he said, a rod. And he said, cast it on the ground. And he cast it on the ground. And it became a serpent. And Moses fled from before it.
Again, show you that he's black. A snake down there, he got ghosts. He didn't say, oh, let's get, it's a beauty. That's a snake right there. That's a snake. I ain't about to pick him up and to get on and start a TV show. What is it? Got up out of there like what we would do. Gotta let you know that he's one of us.
Behind the fence across the street.
Exactly. Go ahead.
And Moses fled from before it. And Yahuwah said unto Moses, put forth your hand, and take it by the tail. And he put forth his hand and caught it, and it became a rod in his hand, that they might believe that Yahuwah Elohim of your fathers, power of Abraham, the power of Isaac, and the power of Jacob have appeared unto you. And Yahuwah said furthermore unto him, put now your hand into your bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom. And when he took it out, behold, his hand was as leprous as snow. And he said, put your hand into your bosom again.
So he's doing all these miracles just for Moses to believe. Showing him all these unbelievable things just so Moses will get comfortable and believe. Go ahead.
And plucked it out of his bosom, and behold, it was turned again as his other flesh. And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe you, neither listen unto the voice of the first sign, that they will believe the voice of the latter sign.
Go ahead.
And it shall come to pass, if they will not believe also these two signs, neither listen unto your voice, that you shall take of the water of the river and pour it upon dry land, and the water which you shall take out of the river shall become blood upon the dry land. And Moshe said unto Yahuwah, O my master, I am not eloquent.
I'm not what?
I am not eloquent.
I'm not eloquent. He's still making excuses. Moses don't want this job. So how do people think that they can come today and jump out there and go to him? And I want the... Because it's going to show you that the prophets didn't want it. He's suddenly making up another excuse right here. I can't talk good, Most High. Don't put me out there. Go ahead.
I am not eloquent, neither before nor since you have spoken unto your servant. But I am slow of speech.
I'm slow of speech. I stutter and stuff. Don't put me out there.
And of a throat tongue.
You be telling me Moses was talking like Tyson?
And Yahuwah said unto him, who made man's mouth? Or who made the dumb, or the deaf, or the seeing of the blind? Have not I, Yahuwah?
I did these things. Everybody that's like this, I did it. I made your mouth. I know who you are. Go ahead.
Now therefore go, and I will be with your mouth.
Go and I will be with your mouth. Now he getting more and more mad at Moses because he don't want it. Go ahead.
And teach you what you shall say. And he said, O my master, send, I pray you, by the hand of him whom you will send.
Send somebody else, please. I don't want to go. Read.
And the anger.
And the what?
And the anger.
And the anger. Go ahead.
Of Yahuwah was kindled against Moses. And he said, is not Aaron the Levite your brother? I know that he can speak good. And also, behold, he comes forth to meet you.
So he already got it set up. He already coming. Because I know you're going to be procrastinating and trying to avoid doing it. I already got it set up. Your brother right over there. He can speak really, really good. I got you. Just go do what I told you to do. Cut all these excuses out. Just go and do what I told you to do. But the point is, Moses don't want the job. Let's get Numbers chapter 12. But nevertheless, Moses is that servant. The servant of servants before the Messiah came along. Wasn't nobody else like him. Numbers chapter 12.
He gonna talk.
Got it already set up. Numbers chapter 12. Pick it up at verse 1.
Numbers 12 and 1. And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses.
So this is Moses' brother and sister, big brother and his big sister. I shall set a household against each other. Mother against the daughter, father against, remember that? All the way back here. Read.
And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because of the Ethiopian woman who he had married.
Go ahead.
For he had married an Ethiopian woman.
So they they talking about Moses behind his back. He ain't even there to hear it. Go ahead.
And they said, have Yahuwah indeed spoken only by Moses?
So is he only work with Moses? His own brother and his sister jealous of him. Is he the only one that he worked with? I'm a prophetess too. When I go out on the streets, people listen to me too. Moses ain't say they didn't. Go ahead.
Have he not spoken also by us? And Yahuwah heard it.
So the Most High heard it. Moses ain't even hear it, but the Most High heard it. Go ahead.
Now the man Moses was very meek, above all the men which were upon the face of the earth.
So Moses was a humble guy. Even though he was Moses, he was a meek and humble guy. Read.
And Yahuwah spake suddenly unto Moses, and unto Aaron, and unto Miriam, come out you there unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And they three came out, and Yahuwah came down in the pillar of the cloud, and stood in the door of the tabernacle, and called Aharon and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, hear now my words.
Listen up, you two. Go ahead.
If there be a prophet among you, I, Yahuwah, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream.
Go ahead.
My servant Moses is not so.
But my servant Moses is not so. He better than the rest of them that I'm going to send until the Messiah comes. He ain't so. Read.
My servant Moses is not so, who is faithful in all my house. With him I will speak mouth to mouth.
I will speak mouth to mouth with him. But you, how am I do it?
Either in a dream
Go ahead.
or in a vision.
Either in what?
In a dream or in a vision.
Either in a dream or in a vision. Go ahead.
With him I will speak mouth to mouth, even apparently, and not in dark speeches and similitude of Yahuwah shall he behold.
He told Moses that you're going to behold the similitude. Is that a metaphor right there that he going to see? No, that's something that Moses is going to see. Go ahead.
And the similitude of Yahuwah shall he behold. Wherefore then were you not afraid to speak against my servant
So
Moses?
he's mad at them for speaking against his servant Moses, and they was doing it behind his back. He said, y'all wasn't scared to talk against my servant? Go ahead.
And the anger of Yahuwah was kindled against them, and he departed, and a cloud departed off the tabernacle. And behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aharon looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aharon said unto Moses, Alas, my master, I beseech you.
Now you want to call him master. Alas, my master, I beg you. You just was talking about him bad, though. Go ahead.
I beseech you, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned.
We have done foolishly. You let your jealousy, let your mouth write a check that your behind can't cash. Go ahead.
We have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed when he comes out of the mother's womb.
So you can tell that Miriam was leading this, because he got her worse. So she was, I'm sick of him. That little nappy head self think he come up in here and try to boss somebody around and think the Most High only working with him.
If I would have never put him in the river, he'd have been dead. I'm the reason for all this.
Go ahead.
Let her not be as one of the dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed when he comes out of his mother's womb. Verse 13. And Moses cried unto Yahuwah, saying, Heal her now, O power, I beseech you.
Remember, bless them that curse you. Do good to them that despise you. And all of these things, even though they just was talking against Moses, he turned around and did what? Cried to the Most High on her behalf. Much success to you, even if you wish us the opposite. Read.
And Yahuwah said unto Moses, If her father had but spit on her, in her face.
If her father had but spit in her face. Go ahead.
She should not be ashamed 7 days. Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days. And after that, let her be received in again.
So even though Moses cried out and prayed for her, he still put the leprosy on her for a week. Kicked her out the camp. Just for speaking against his servant. Again, Moses ain't even here. Let's see, can we find this praying for somebody, your enemy again. Let's go to 2 Samuel chapter 2. No, 1 Samuel chapter 31. 1 Samuel chapter 31. Pick it up at verse 2.
1 Samuel 31 and verse 2. And the Philistines followed hard upon Saul and upon his sons. And the Philistines slew Jonathan and Abinadab and Melchishua, Saul's sons. And the battle went sore against Saul, and the archers hit him, and he was sore wounded of the archers. Then said Saul unto his armor bearer, Draw your sword and thrust me through therewith, lest these uncircumcised come and thrust me through and abuse me.
So Saul has been wounded. Now he asking, because he already wounded, he wants somebody to come and one of the servants to come and kill him, because he don't want the Philistines to get him. Like, we in the battle, Trav, I'm wounded. Go ahead and take me out. I don't want them to get me. All right, read.
Then Saul said unto his armor bearer, Draw your sword and thrust me through therewith, lest these uncircumcised come and thrust me through and abuse me. But his armor bearer would not, for he was sore afraid. Therefore Saul took his sword and fell upon it.
He did what?
And fell upon it.
So Saul took this sword and fell upon it. What did Saul just do? Committed suicide. How does this apply to Mashiach?
I'll let y'all get that.
Anybody? How could this apply to a Mashiach?
Is it because he took upon all our sins and he knew he was going to die?
That's a part of it. All right, that's all we got. Let's go to John chapter 10. It said that Saul fell upon his sword. Let's go to John chapter 10. Big John. Chapter 10 and verse 17. Ten and verse 17.
John 10 and 17. Therefore does my Father love me, because I lay down my life, and that I might take it again. No man take it from me, but I lay it down myself.
But I do what?
I lay it down
I
myself.
lay it down myself. It says Saul fell upon that sword. He telling you right here, no man don't take my life from me. I lay it down myself. I'm willfully doing this thing. Read that verse 10 again. I mean verse 17 and 18 again.
Therefore does my Father love me, because I lay down my life, that I might take it again. No man take it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it again. This commandment have I received of my Father.
Only thing is Saul ain't have this power to get back up. Plus he was wicked. Let's go back. Let's go to 2 Samuel. Now remember, Saul just killed himself, right? Because he was wounded. Let's go to 2 Samuel chapter 2. And remember, Saul was trying to kill David repeatedly. 2 Samuel chapter 2, pick it up at verse 1.
2 Samuel 2:1. And it came to pass after this, that David inquired of Yahuwah, saying, Shall I go up into any of the cities of Judah? And Yahuwah said unto him, Go up. And David said, Where shall I go up? And he said, Unto Hebron. So David went up there, and his two wives also, Ahinoam, the Jezreelite, Tis, and Abigail, Nabal's wife, the Carmelite, and his men that were with him did David bring up, every man with his household, and they dwelt in the cities of Hebron. And the men of Judah came, and there they anointed David king over the house of Judah. And they told David, saying that the men of Jabesh Gilead were they that buried Saul. And David sent messengers unto the men of Jabesh Gilead, and said unto them, Blessed be you of Yahuwah, that you have shown this kindness unto your master, even unto Saul, and have buried him. And now Yahuwah show kindness and truth unto you, and I also will requite you this kindness, because you have done this thing.
Jump down to verse 26.
Verse 26. Then Abner called to Joab and said, Shall the sword devour forever? Knoweth you not that it will be bitterness in the latter end? How long shall it be then, ere you bid the people return from following their brethren? And Joab said, As the Most High lives, unless you had spoken, surely then in the morning the people had gone up, every one from the following his brother. So Joab blew the trumpet, and all the people stood still, and pursued after Israel no more, neither fought they any more. And Abner and his men walked all the night through the plain, and passed over Jordan, and went through all Bithron, and they came to Mahanaim. And Joab returned from following Abner. And when he had gathered all the people together, there lacked of David's servants 19 men, Asahel. But the servant of David had smitten of Benjamin, and and of Abner's men, so that 360 men died. And they stood upon Ashael.
Hold on, I'm looking for something. One moment, please. It's a key point in here I'm looking for. One moment. Yeah. One moment. Okay. It's 2 Samuel chapter 1. Pick it up at verse 14. At verse 12.
2 Samuel 1 and 12. And they mourned and wept and fasted until even.
Now this is about Saul dying, right? Go ahead.
For Saul and for Jonathan his son, and for the people of Yahuwah, and for the house of Israel, because they were fallen by the sword. And David said unto the young man that told him, Whence art thou? And he answered, I am the son of a stranger, an Amalekite. And David said unto him, How were you not afraid to stretch forth your hand and destroy Yahuwah's anointed?
So this guy is bragging about he the one that killed Saul. He the one that wounded him. Now remember, this guy was trying to kill David all the time. Now David is trying to stand up for him. Go ahead.
And David called one of his young men and said, Go near and fall upon him. And he smote him that he died.
Did he do what?
And he smote him that he died.
Smote him that he died. Go ahead.
And David said unto him, Your blood be upon your head, and your mouth have testified against you.
Your mouth did what?
Have testified against you, saying, I have slain Yahuwah's anointed.
I have did what?
I have slain Yahuwah's anointed.
So even though that this guy was trying to kill David, every chance he got, David is saying, your mouth have testified against you. What Miriam and Aaron's mouth did against them? Testified against them for speaking against his anointed. Go ahead.
And David lamented with this lamentation over Saul and over Jonathan his son.
So David is crying about this. Same thing. Bless them that curse you. All of these different things. Let's get Matthew 5 and 44. Matthew 5 and 44.
The book of Matthew, chapter 5 and verse 44. But I say unto you,
Go ahead.
but I say unto you, love your enemies.
Do what?
Love your enemies.
Love your enemies. This is exactly what he's doing. Go ahead.
Bless them that curse you. Do good to them that hate you. And pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you.
And do what?
And persecute you.
So we showing you this from the Old Testament because you got a lot of dudes that don't believe in the Messiah who tell you to come over. Now, oh, that don't make no sense to me. Oh, absolutely not. See, that's that turn the other cheek jump. It's in the Old Testament. It's in the Old Testament. Numerous times. All right, let's go to Numbers 14. Numbers 14. and verse 1.
The book of Numbers, chapter 14 and verse 1.
Now remember, Moses didn't want this job, right? We're finna see why. Go ahead, Numbers 14 and 1.
And all the congregation lifted up their voice and cried, and all the people wept that night. And all the children of Israel murmured against Moses.
They did what?
They murmured against
They
Moses
murmured against Moses. Read.
and against Aaron. And the whole congregation said unto them, with the Most High that we had died in the land of Egypt, or with the Most High that we had died in this wilderness?
Jump down to verse 26.
Verse 26. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, how long shall I bear with this evil congregation?
How long what?
Shall I bear with this evil congregation?
How long I'm going to put up with these? How long? Go ahead.
Which murmur against me. I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel, which they murmur against me. Say unto them, as truly as I live, saith Yahuwah, as you have spoken in my ears, so will I do to you. Your carcasses shall fall in the wilderness.
Your what?
Your carcasses shall fall in the wilderness.
Y'all gonna die out here. Go ahead.
And all that were numbered of you, according to your whole number, from 20 years old and upward, which have murmured against me, doubtless you shall not come into the land concerning which I swear to make you dwell therein, save Caleb the son of Jephunneh, and Joshua son of Nun.
So all of these people that came out there, only two original ones that made it was Joshua and Caleb. That's a shame. Let's get Numbers 16 and verse 1.
Look at the thousands.
600,000 came out. Only Joshua and Caleb made it out of the ones that was grown. Numbers 16 and verse 1.
Numbers 16 and 1. Now Korah, the son of Izhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan, and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and On, the son of Pelet, sons of Reuben, took men, and they rose up before Moses, with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown.
Men of renown, it says, famous in the congregation, men of renown. In the Messiah's time, who would this be? Scribes and the Pharisees, right? They rose up against Moses. Go ahead.
And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, you take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are set apart, every one of them.
All of us are set apart. Who made you in charge, Moses? Who put you over everybody? Jealousy he's speaking from. Go ahead.
And Yahuwah is among them. Wherefore then, lift you up yourself above the congregation of Yahuwah. And when Moses heard it, he fell on his face.
He did what?
He fell on his face.
Fell on his face. Go ahead.
And he spake unto Korah and unto all his company, saying, even tomorrow Yahuwah will show who are his and who is set apart.
So
and
Moses drawing that line in the sand. We're going to see. We're going to see. Go ahead.
And will cause him to come near unto him, even him whom he hath chosen will he cause to come near unto him. To this take you censers, Korah and all his company, and put fire therein, and put incense in them before Yahuwah tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom Yahuwah does choose, he shall be set apart. You take too much upon you, you sons of Levi.
So Moses told them, you taking too much on you, you sons of Levi. Go ahead.
And Moses said unto Korah, hear, I pray you, you sons of Levi, seems it but a small thing unto you, but that the Most High of Israel have separated you from the congregation of Israel.
You think this is a small thing that the Most High separating you from them. Go ahead.
To bring you near to himself to do the service of the tabernacle of Yahuwah, and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them.
So their whole thing is they feel like the Most High made a mistake. He should have chose them to do this job. Go ahead.
And he have brought you near to him, and all your brethren, the sons of Levi, with you, and seek you the priesthood also.
You seek the priesthood also. That's what they really after. This is why they speaking against Moses, and they causing a ruckus to bring all the other people to do the same thing. Go ahead.
For which cause both you and all your company are gathered together against Yahuwah. And what is Aharon?
They against who?
Against Yahuwah.
Go ahead.
And what is Aharon that you murmur against him? And Moses sent call to Dathan and Abiram and the sons of Eliab, which said, we will not come. It is a small thing that you have brought us up out of the land that flows with milk and honey.
Oh, so they left from Egypt, and they thought Egypt was the land that flowed with milk and honey.
He said it's a small thing that you brought us up out of.
So they thinking that they left from the land of milk and honey. They want to go back. Go ahead.
To kill us in the wilderness, except you make yourself altogether a prince over us.
Moses didn't make himself a prince over you. The Most High did this. Go ahead.
Moreover, you have not brought us into a land that flows with milk and honey, or given us an inheritance of fields and vineyards. With you, will you put out the eyes of these men? We will not come up. And Moses was very wroth.
Oh, this is the first time to say Moses is wroth, is mad this time. Go ahead.
And said unto Yahuwah, respect not you their offering.
Don't respect their offering. Go ahead.
I have not taken one donkey from them.
I ain't done nothing to none of them. Why they messing with me? I ain't done nothing to them. Read.
Neither have I hurt one of them.
I ain't done absolutely nothing to these people. Read.
And Moses said unto Korah, be you and all your company before Yahuwah, you and they, and Aharon tomorrow.
And tomorrow, be there. You better be there or be square. Jump down to verse 19.
Verse 19. And Korah gathered all the congregation against them unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the esteem of Yahuwah appeared unto all the congregation. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, separate yourselves from among this congregation.
Do what?
Separate yourselves from among this congregation.
Get away from them. Separate from these people. Let's see why. Go ahead.
That I may consume them in a moment.
Do what?
That I may consume them in a moment.
That I may consume them in a moment. They speaking out of jealousy and envy because they want Moses' spot. Even though Moses didn't want his spot. Go ahead.
And they fell upon their faces and said, O power, the power of the spirits of all flesh. Shall one man sin?
Shall one what?
Shall one man sin?
Shall one man sin? So one man brought in sin into the world, and one man can take it out. Go ahead.
And will you be wroth with all the congregation? And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying,
and they still turn around and praying for these people. Go ahead.
Speak unto the congregation, saying, get you up from about the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan and Abiram. And Moshe rose up and went unto Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spake unto the congregation, saying, depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men.
Get away from these wicked men. Go ahead.
And touch nothing of theirs, lest you be consumed in all their sins.
So if you with them, you going down with them. If you side with the people of darkness, you going down with them. Go ahead.
So they got up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan and Abiram, on every side. And Dathan and Abiram came out and stood in the door of their tents, and their wives and their sons and their little children. And Moses said, hereby you shall know that Yahuwah have sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them of my own mind.
So Yahuwah sent me to do these things. It's not me. He sent me to do this stuff. Read.
If these men die, die the common death of all men, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men, then Yahuwah have not sent me.
So Moses says something. If this don't take place, he didn't send me. Go ahead.
But if Yahuwah make a new thing,
Make it do what?
make a new
He
thing,
make a new thing. Go ahead.
and the earth open her mouth and swallow them up with all that appertain unto them, and they go down quick into the pit.
Into where?
Into the pit.
Go ahead.
Then you shall understand that these men have provoked Yahuwah.
Read that verse again.
Verse 30. But if Yahuwah make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth and swallow them up, and all that appertain unto them, and they go down quick into the pit, then you shall understand that these men have provoked Yahuwah.
They didn't provoke Moses. You didn't provoke Yahuwah. Even though you think you messing with Moses, you really didn't provoke the Most High. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground clave asunder that was under them, and the earth opened her mouth.
Oh, he just created a new thing. Go ahead.
And swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that appertained unto them, unto Korah, and all their goods. They and all that appertained unto them went down alive into the pit.
They went down alive into the pit. Go ahead.
And the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among the congregation.
Hold that right there. Let's get Revelation chapter 19. He said that they went down alive into the pit. Give me Revelations 19 and 18.
The book of Revelation, chapter 19 and verse 18. That you may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. And I saw the beast and the kings of the earth, and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse, and against his army. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet, that wrought miracles before him, and with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worship his image. These both were cast alive into the lake of burning fire with brimstone.
They was cast where?
Were cast alive into a lake of burning fire.
Just like he said about them, they were cast alive down into the pit. And everybody that was agreeing with him. Finish that out.
And the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth.
So remember, he said, you ain't provoking me, you actually provoking Yahuwah. Go ahead.
And all the fowls were filled with their flesh.
That's it on that? All right, let's go back. Let's go back to those numbers. And pick it up at verse 41. Now, remember, after all of these people just died in the sight of these people, pick it up at verse
16.
number 16 and 41.
Number 16 and 41. But on the morrow, all the congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron, saying,
They did what?
Murmured against Moses and against Aaron, saying,
They didn't even wait a week. They didn't wait a month. Right after he just opened the ground and swallowed them up, on the next day, they was back at it again. Read it from the top again.
But on the morrow, all the congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron, saying, You have killed the people of Yahuwah.
You killed them. The Most High killed them people. But they blaming it on Moses. It's a tough job. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, when the congregation was gathered against Moses and against Aaron.
Right there again. Gathering up again. Let's take Moses out. Jealous of him. Go ahead.
against Moses and against Aaron, that they looked toward the tabernacle of the congregation. And behold, the cloud covered it, and the esteem of Yahuwah appeared, and Moses and Aaron came before the tabernacle of the congregation.
So he come down again. Y'all still doing it again. I got to come back down there again. Don't make me come in there with that belt. Go ahead.
And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Get you up from among this congregation.
Do what?
Get you up from among this congregation.
Get away from these people. Go ahead.
That I may consume them as in the moment. And they fell upon their faces. And Moses said unto Aaron, Take a censer, and put fire therein from off the altar, and put incense, and go quickly into the congregation, and make an atonement for them.
So he told him, he said, get you from among this people. Hold this right here and get Revelation 18:4. He said, get you up from among this congregation, that I may consume them as in a moment.
Revelation chapter 18 and verse 4. And I heard another voice from Shamaim saying, Come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins.
Read that again.
And I heard another voice from Shamaim saying, Come out of her, my people, that you be not partakers of her sins, and that you receive not of her plagues.
Same thing you telling Moses and them right here. Get you up from among this congregation, that I may consume them. Let's get another witness. Genesis 19 and verse 13. Same thing. Nothing new under the sun. Genesis 19 and verse 13.
Genesis 19 and 13. For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxed great before the face of Yahuwah. And Yahuwah hath sent us to destroy it. And Lot went out and spake unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, Up, get you out of this place.
Up and get you out of this place. Why? Go ahead.
For Yahuwah would destroy the city. But it seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law.
So they thought he was playing. Go ahead.
And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, Arise, take your wife, your two daughters, which are here, lest you be consumed in iniquity of the city.
So the same thing. Get out of here. Don't be around these people, because I'm about to destroy this place. Jump over to verse 24.
Verse 24. Then Yahuwah rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone of fire from Yahuwah out of Shamaim.
Same thing. If you among the people, you gonna die with them. That's what he's telling you. Come from among them people. Let's go back to that Numbers 16. Pick it up at verse 47. Exactly. Verse 47. Number 16.
Number 16 and 47. And Aharon took.
Matter of fact, pick it up at verse 46.
Verse 46. And Moses said unto Aharon, Take a censer, and put fire therein from off the altar, and put on incense, and go quickly unto the congregation, and make an atonement for them.
Make a what?
Make an atonement for them.
Hamashiach makes the atonement. Go ahead.
For there is wrath going out from Yahuwah. The plague is begun.
So the plague has now begun. Go ahead.
And Aharon took, as Moses commanded, and ran into the midst of the congregation. And behold, the plague was begun among the people. And he put on incense and made an atonement for the people. And he stood between the dead and the living.
So right here is a picture of Hamashiach standing between the living and the dead, the sheep and the goat, the dark and the light. This is a picture of it right here, what Aaron is doing. Read that verse 48 again.
And he stood between the dead and the living, and the plague was stayed.
And the plague was stayed. Go ahead.
Now they that died in the plague were 14,700. Beside them that died about the matter of Korah. And Aharon returned unto Moses unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the plague was stayed.
So all of these people died because these certain scribes and Pharisees was jealous of Moses. They led the people to come against Moses, and all of these people died. 14,000 and some people died because they was jealous of Moses. Now Moses had the light in a whole different way. He had a physical light. Let's get Exodus 32 and 1. Exodus 32 and 1.
The book of Exodus, chapter 32 and verse 1. And when the people saw that Moshe delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aharon and said unto him, Up, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we would not what is become of him.
We don't want nothing to do with this guy. What has become of him? Jump down to verse 11.
Verse 11. And Moses besought Yahuwah his power, and said, Yahuwah, why do your wrath wax hot against your people, which you have brought forth out of the land of Egypt with great power and with a mighty hand? Wherefore should the Egyptians speak and say, For mischief did he bring them out to slay them in the mountain, and to consume them from the face of the earth? Turn from your fierce wrath and repent of this evil against your people.
So again, these people doing all this, Moses still praying on their behalf. Exodus 34, verse 29.
Exodus 34 and 29. And it came to pass, when Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tablets of the testimony in Moses' hand, when he came down from the mount, that Moses was not that the skin of his face shone while he talked with him.
So Moses got the light for real. His whole face is shining. Literally. Go ahead.
And when Aharon and all the children of Israel saw Moses, behold, the skin of his face shone, and they were afraid to come nigh him. And Moses called unto them, and Aaron and all of the rulers of the congregation returned unto him. And Moses talked with them. And afterward all the children of Israel came near, and he gave them a commandment that Yahuwah had spoken with him in Mount Sinai. Until Moses had done speaking with them, he put a veil on his face.
He did what?
He put a veil on his face.
So Moses' face was shining so bright that he had to put a veil on him. He had the light both spiritually and physically right here. And they still wasn't afraid to speak against him. Let's get 1 Chronicles 16 and 22. 1 Chronicles 16 and 22.
First Chronicles chapter 16 and verse 22. Saying, Touch not mine anointed.
Do what?
Touch not mine anointed.
Go ahead.
And do my prophets no harm.
Touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. A great Christian scripture that they twist. Don't have nothing to do with what they talking about. All right. Let's get, again, this is a very hard job. Let's see how hard. Let's get 1 Kings 19. 1 Kings 19 and verse 1. First Kings 19 and 1.
1 Kings 19 and 1. And Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done, and withal how he had slain all the prophets with the sword. And Jezebel sent a messenger unto Elijah, saying, so let the gods do to me. And more also, if I make not your life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time.
So Elijah at this point then killed like 400 false prophets. Go ahead.
And when he saw that he arose and went for his life and came to Beersheba, which belongs to Judah, and left his servant there. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness.
Now this is the great prophet Elijah that is talking about. Go ahead.
And came and sat down under a juniper tree. And he requested for himself that he might die.
That he might what?
That he might die.
So this job so hard, Elijah, one of the greatest prophets in the book, is asking to die. It says, but he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat under a juniper tree and requested for himself that he might die. Finish that out.
And said, it is enough. Now, O Yahuwah, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers.
So this thing is so hard, Elijah wants to die. Let's get another witness. Let's get Jonah chapter 1. So we see Moses didn't want the job. Elijah want to die. Let's see what Jonah want to do. Jonah chapter 1 and verse 1.
Jonah chapter 1 and verse 1. Now the word of Yahuwah came unto Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry against it, for their wickedness has come up before me.
Go ahead.
But Jonah rose up to flee unto Tarshish from the presence of Yahuwah.
Wait a minute, he did what?
Rose up to flee unto Tarshish.
So Jonah trying to run from this. He don't want it. But Jonah, he told him directly, Arise, go to Nineveh, that great city, and cry against it, for their wickedness has come up before me. But what Jonah do? Verse 3.
But Jonah rose up to flee unto Tarshish from the presence of Yahuwah, and went down to Joppa, and he found a ship going to Tarshish. So he paid the fare thereof.
Got on the fare and got out of there. I don't want the job. Let's go to Amos. Amos 7. Moses don't want it. None of these people actually wanted the job. Pick it up at verse 12. Let's see how Amos felt about it. Yep. Amos chapter 7 and 12.
Amos 7 and 12. Also, Amaziah said unto Amos, O, you seer, go, flee thee away into the land of Judah, and there eat bread, and prophesy there. But prophesy not again any more at Bethel, for it is the king's chapel, and it is the king's court. Then answered Amos, and said unto Amaziah, I was no prophet.
I was what?
I was no prophet.
I was no prophet. Go ahead.
Neither was I a prophet's son, but I was an herdman and a gatherer of sycamore fruit.
So Jonah say, man, I don't really have nothing to do with this. My daddy wasn't a prophet or none of this stuff. Jonah just want to keep sheep. Amos just want to keep his sheep. Go ahead.
And Yahuwah took me as I followed the flock. And Yahuwah said unto me, Go, prophesy unto my people Israel. Now therefore, hear you the word of Yahuwah. You says, prophesy not against Israel, and drop not your word against the house of Isaac. Therefore, thus saith Yahuwah, your wife shall be a harlot in the city, and your sons and daughters shall fall by the sword, and your land shall be divided by line, and you shall die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity, forth of his land.
Let's go to Genesis 37. But as you see, these people don't want the job. Matter of fact, let's get Jeremiah 20. Jeremiah 20. So we know, everybody knows Jeremiah. He was what they call a major prophet. Jeremiah chapter 20, and let's pick it up at verse 1.
Jeremiah 20 and 1. Now Pashur, the son of Emer, the Kohen, who was also a chief governor in the house of Yahuwah, heard that Jeremiah prophesied these things. Then Pashur smote Jeremiah the prophet.
He did what?
Smote Jeremiah the prophet.
He slapped Jeremiah the prophet. Wow. Go ahead.
And put him in the stocks that were in the high gate of Benjamin, which was by the house of Yahuwah. And it came to pass on the morrow that Pashur brought forth Jeremiah out of the stocks. Then said Jeremiah unto him, Yahuwah have not called your name Pashur, but Magor Misabid. For this saith Yahuwah, behold, I will make you a terror to yourself.
I will make you what?
A terror to yourself.
Because that's what that name means. Terror. He said, I'm going to make you a terror to yourself. Read.
And to all your friends, and they shall fall by the sword of their enemies, and your eyes shall behold it. And I will give all Judah into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall carry them captive into Babylon, and shall slay them with the sword. Moreover, I will deliver all the strength of the city, and the laborers thereof, and all the precious things thereof, and all the treasures of the king of Judah will I give into the hand of their enemies, which shall spoil them, and take them, and carry them to Babylon. And you, Pashur, and all that dwell in your house shall go into captivity, and you shall come to Babylon, and there you shall die, and be buried there, you and all your friends, to whom you have prophesied lies.
So he just told him the truth. You gonna die there, and all your friends that you prophesied the lies to. Go ahead.
Oh Yahuwah, you have deceived me.
So this Jeremiah is like, who are you to deceive me? Go ahead.
And I was deceived.
Go ahead.
You are stronger than I, and have prevailed. I am in derision daily.
I am in derisions daily. Jeremiah say, I'm in derisions daily. Go ahead.
Everyone mocks me.
Everybody talking about me. Go ahead.
For since I spake, I cried out. I cried violence and spoil, because the word of Yahuwah was made a reproach unto me, and a derision daily.
So this word was a reproach to Jeremiah. Go ahead.
Then I said, I will not make mention of him.
I will do what?
I will not make mention of him.
So this thing is so hard. Jeremiah is saying, I ain't talking about this stuff no more. I'm done with it. Go ahead.
Nor speak any more in his name, but his word was in my mouth, was in my heart, as a burning fire shut up in my bones. And I was weary with forbearing, and I could not stay.
So even though Jeremiah was getting whooped up, thrown in jail, slapped, all of this stuff, he said, I'm done with this job. He couldn't contain it. I got to go out and teach it. As hard as it is, all these people going to be against me. I got to do it. Still went right out and done it. Let's get down to the Messiah. Let's give me Matthew. Let's see where I want to start. Let's get John 15:25.
The book of John, chapter 15 and verse 25. But this comes to pass, that the word might be fulfilled that was written in their law, that they hated me without a cause.
They did what?
They hated me without a cause.
So just like all the rest of them, they didn't do nothing to deserve any of these things. They hated the Messiah without a cause. He didn't do any of these things. Let's get me Genesis 45. So the people hated Hamashiach without a cause. Genesis 45 and verse 7.
Genesis 45 and 7. And the Most High sent me before you to preserve you a posterity in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. So now it was not you that sent me here, but the Most High, and he have made me a father to Pharaoh.
So we know that Joseph's brothers was jealous of him. That's why they did it to him. They hated him without a cause. Same thing. Go ahead.
And master of all his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt.
Same thing with Hamashiach, the ruler over the whole land. Give me Matthew 5 and 44. Because even though darkness hates light, it always follows it. Always go where it goes. No matter what. Always show up. Matthew 5 and 44.
Matthew 5 and 44. But I say unto you, love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you, that you may be children of your Father which is in Shamayim. For he makes his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends the rain on the just and on the unjust. For if we love them which love you, what reward have you?
What reward have you? Even though they despise you, kill them with kindness. Go ahead.
Do not even the publicans do the same? And if you salute your brethren only, what do you more than others? Do you not even the publicans do so? Be you therefore perfect, be you therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in Shamayim is perfect.
Matthew 12 and 38. Remember, light attracts darkness. It loves it.
Matthew 12 and 38. Then certain of the scribes and of the Pharisees.
Who?
Certain of the scribes and of the Pharisees.
Certain of the scribes and the Pharisees. Matthew 15 and 1. Now remember, these people hate him.
Matthew 15 and 1. Then came to Yeshua scribes and Pharisees.
Who came?
Scribes and Pharisees.
Wait a minute, you hate him. Why you follow him everywhere you go? You can't stand this guy. But you keep following him everywhere that he go. Every time I'm gonna see that make a post, they get on his post and mess with him. In the land of Facebook, if you had a Facebook. Wow. Matthew 23. Golly. Every time Moses make a stat, y'all jump on his stat and mess with him.
Every time I go to the refrigerator, you.
Matthew 23 and verse 1.
Matthew 23 and 1. Then spake Yeshua to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat.
They do what?
They sit in Moses' seat.
It's the same people, Korah and them, modern day, who trying to sit in Moses' seat, was jealous of him from the beginning. Go ahead.
All therefore, whatsoever he bid you to you observe, that you observe and do, but do not you after their works, for they say and do not.
Go ahead.
For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and they lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. But all their works they do for to be seen of men.
Everything they do to be seen of men. See that? I lost my job, man, because I had to go. Read on.
But their works they do for to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries.
They make what?
Broad their phylacteries.
Go ahead.
And enlarge the borders of their garments.
Ooh, looking like Indians on the street. Power Rangers. Go ahead.
And love the uppermost rooms at feasts, and the chief seats at the synagogue.
Uppermost rooms at the feast. Let's have a super debate. We're going to debate against the Egyptologists and these people and everybody. Y'all falling into this right here. Go ahead.
And greetings in the markets, and to be called of men, Rabbi, Rabbi.
Go ahead.
But be you not called Rabbi, for one is your master, even Hamashiach, and all you are brethren. And call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your father, which is in Shamaim. Neither be you called masters.
Jump down to verse 13.
Verse 13. But woe.
But what?
But woe.
But woe. It's a scary thing for him to put woe in front of your name. Go ahead.
But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you shut up the kingdom of Shamaim against men. For you neither go in yourselves, neither suffer you them that are entering to go in.
So these people, they shutting the kingdom up not only to themselves, but to the people that's following them. Go ahead.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you compass sea and land to make one proselyte.
So you go over sea and land. Travel somewhere to get one convert. Go ahead.
And when he is made, you make him twofold more than the child of hell than yourself.
So you make them even worse. You would travel to the other side of the world to convert one person and then mess him up. Have him worse. Go ahead.
Woe unto you, ye blind guides, which say, whatsoever shall swear by the temple, it is nothing. But whosoever shall swear by the gold of the temple, he is a debtor. You fools.
You what?
You fools.
Go ahead.
And blind. For whether is greater, the gold or the temple, that sanctifies the gold. And whosoever shall swear by the altar is nothing. But whosoever swears by the gift that is upon it, he is guilty.
What B was explaining a couple of weeks ago. Go ahead.
You fools and blind. For whether is greater, the gift or the altar that sanctifies the gift? Whoso therefore shall swear by the altar, swears by it, and by all things thereon.
Jump down to verse 23.
Verse 23. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees.
Keep saying it over and over. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees. Go ahead.
Hypocrites, for you pay tithes of mint and anise and cumin, and have ointment, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought you to have done, and not to leave the others undone.
Jump to verse 25.
Verse 25. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess.
Jump down to, matter of fact, keep reading.
You blind Pharisees, cleanse first that which is within the cup and the platter, that the outside of them may be clean also.
Go ahead.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you are like unto whited sepulchres.
So you like
sepulchres.
So you like a whited sepulcher. Beautiful. You know what I'm saying? White boy Rick or somebody get buried in a Ben's coffin or something. It don't matter. Go ahead.
Which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead men's bones and of all uncleanness.
Go ahead.
Even so, you also outwardly appear righteous unto men.
What?
You outwardly appear righteous unto men, but within you are full of hypocrisy and iniquity.
So even outside you look very righteous, but on the inside you full of dead men's bones. Go ahead. So he was putting these religious leaders in their place. They didn't like it because they was already established when he got there.
Was they Christians?
Nope, they was Israelites. Go ahead.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you build the tombs of the prophets and garnish the sepulchres of the righteous, and say, if we had been in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets.
So you just admitted something. Read.
Wherefore, you be witness unto yourselves that you are children of them which killed the prophets.
Your own mouth just testified against you. Read.
Fill you up then the measure of your fathers. You serpents, you generation of vipers.
What?
You serpents, you generation of
You
vipers.
serpent, you generation of vipers. Nothing new under the sun. Same people is here right now doing the same stuff. Matthew 27:1. You brought to bring it? Matthew 27:1.
Crazy thing is, they said that they wouldn't have no. He was saying that they were saying that they wouldn't have no hand in the blood of the prophet.
Right.
They actually the ones who.
Exactly. Matthew 27:1.
Matthew 27:1. When the morning was come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Yeshua to put him to death. And when they had bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor.
So the chief priests and the elders of the people took counsel against the Messiah to put him to death. It's the leaders that's doing this stuff. The people that they look up to is the ones that's doing this stuff. Let's jump down to verse 19.
Verse 19. And when he was set down on the judgment seat, his wife sent unto him, saying, have you nothing to do with this just man? For I have suffered many things this day in a dream because of him. Because of him. But the chief priests and the elders persuaded the multitude that they should ask Barabbas
Barabbas.
Yeah, that was it. Ask Barabbas to destroy Yeshua.
But the chief priests and the elders persuaded the people to do this. I wonder if we're going to have something like this in the end. Well, these same people that everybody look up to going to persuade these people to do something. Let's jump back to verse 15. Absolutely. Nothing new under the sun.
Now at that feast, verse 15, now at that feast, the governor was wont to release unto the people a prisoner whom they would. And they had then a notable prisoner called Barabbas. Therefore, when they were gathered together, Pilate said unto them, whom will you that I release unto you? Barabbas or Yeshua, which is called Hamashiach?
So they got a choice. But why was these leaders really against the Messiah? Read verse 18.
Verse 18. For he knew that for envy.
For what?
For envy. They had delivered
So
him.
they was jealous of the Messiah, just like they was jealous of Moses, just like Cain was jealous of Abel. Esau was jealous of Jacob, and it goes on and on and on. So now they about to kill the light of the world. Matthew 27, verse 45. So the Messiah is the light of the world, right? And they about to kill him. What happens?
Verse 45. Now from the 6th hour, there was darkness all over the land until the 9th hour.
There was what?
Darkness all over the land until the 9th hour.
So they killed the light of the world, and the whole world went dark for this. They cut the light off. They thought that they got rid of him. Get 1 Corinthians 15 and 54.
Wait.
1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 54. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption.
So the Messiah took off the body that was made like sinful man. Go ahead.
and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is your sting? O grave, where is your victory?
So he got up. He defeated death. What we all hope to accomplish. But they thought that they just got rid of the light, right? So they thought they turned the light off. Let's get Ezekiel chapter 16 and verse 6. Ezekiel chapter 16 and verse 6. Because while he was down there, they said, oh, we done put the light of the world out. It's done.
Ezekiel chapter 16 and verse 6. And when I passed by you and saw you polluted in your own blood.
He looked and saw the Messiah polluted in his own blood. They beat him to a pulp. Read.
And I said unto you, when you was in your blood,
when you was in your own blood, read.
Live.
Do what?
Live.
Hamashiach lived and did what? Got up out of there. Read.
Yea, I say unto you, when you was in your blood, live. And
when you was in your blood, I said to you, live. But they thought they got rid of the light, right? Let's get Psalms 112. Psalms 112 and 4.
The book of Psalms, chapter 112 and verse 4. Unto the upright there arises light in the darkness.
There arises what?
Light in the darkness.
So he came from the darkness back into the light. And if you upright, he'll come to you. Go ahead.
He is gracious.
Hold on, they call the light he? Wait a minute. It's got to be talking about somebody else. It said, he is gracious. Go ahead.
He is gracious and full of compassion.
This light is gracious and full of compassion. They thought they got rid of the light. But he told the light to get up. Let's go to John 15. John 15 and 18.
Book of John, chapter 15 and verse 18.
So everybody that he gives light, you got something to expect if you actually got his light. John 15 and verse 18. Go ahead.
If the world hate you, you know that it hated me before it hated you.
So everything that they took out on him, it's going to come to you, the person that he gives light. He chose the whole nation of Israel. Read.
If you were of the world would love his own.
Go back and do the stuff that you used to do. All them friends that you had, they'll come back. Welcome back, man. I knew it. Come on, man. Lucky's been waiting on you.
Open arms.
Go ahead.
But because you are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. Remember the word that I said unto you, that the servant is not greater than his master. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you.
So if they hated you, if they hated me, they're going to hate you. They persecuted me, they're going to persecute you. Go ahead.
If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that hath sent me.
So all these people that fell off from the Messiah this week, about 6-7 people that we know of, they say all we need is Yah. You don't even know him. Go ahead.
But all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know him not that sent me. If I had not come and spoken unto them, they had not sinned. But now they have no cloak for their sin. He that hates me hates my Father also.
All of them guys really hate the Father. We're talking about the Messiah this whole week. Go ahead.
If I had not done among them the works which which none other man did, they had not had sin. They had not had sin, but now have they both seen and hated both me and my Father.
You hated me and the Father. Go ahead.
But this comes to pass that the word might be fulfilled that was written in their law. They hated me without a cause.
They hated me without a cause. Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Hold this what we got right here. We're coming right back. Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Deuteronomy 7 and 6.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. For you are a set apart people unto Yahuwah your power. Yahuwah your power have chosen you to be a special people unto himself, above all that are upon the face of the earth.
So what would this make the rest of the nations right here when they hear this? Jealous. You're going to despise these people. Did we have anything to do with being chosen? Absolutely not. Because you're really jealous and mad at the Most High himself. You should have picked us. Go ahead.
Yahuwah did not set his love upon you, nor choose you because you were more in number than any other people, for you were the fewest of all people.
All right. Let's get John 15 and verse 16.
John 15 and 16.
Let's see, because this was him talking back here.
You have not chosen me, but I have chosen you, and ordained you, that you should go and bring forth fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatsoever you shall ask of the Father in my name, he may give it to you.
So, because he chose us, this is why the rest of the world despises us and hates us with a passion. But then within the chosen people, he got elect within that even the chosen people hate the chosen people. If that makes sense to you. Right. Set apart from the set apart. So he made these people even special among the special people. So they hated their real life, but they're going to love a fake life. Let's get 2 Corinthians 11. 2 Corinthians 11. Second Corinthians 11. I'm going to pick it up at verse 12.
2 Corinthians 11 and 12. But what I do, that I will do, that I may cut off occasion from them which desire occasion.
What's the occasions could he be talking about? We haven't, Polite is battling this person. $35 a ticket, we got it on pay-per-view. Turning this thing into merchandise. Go ahead.
That wherein they glory, they may be found even as we. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Hamashiach. And no marvel, for Hashatan himself is transformed into a Malachim of light.
And what?
A Malachim of light.
He transformed himself into a Malachim of light. And guess what? The people love the false light. They run for it. They want it. Clamor for the fake light. And know it's a lie. Go ahead.
Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness.
Satan got ministers? Wait a minute. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers, if his preachers, if his pastors, if his moray, if his Kohen, if his priest, if his elder also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. That's everybody that run after these type of people. Let's see what they got waiting for them. Matthew chapter 8 and verse 11. Since you hate the light and what's actually right for you, let's see what you get. Matthew 8 and verse 11.
Matthew chapter 8 and verse 11. And I say unto you, that many shall come from the east and west.
Many coming from the east and the west to do what?
And shall sit down with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom of Shamaim.
That's a beautiful thing if you get to do that. But what else?
But the children of the kingdom shall be cast out into outer darkness.
Into what?
Into outer darkness.
He said they're going to be cast out into outer darkness. What's going to happen when they're there?
There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So if you despise the people that he sent to do the thing, you're going to get jealous. Then you're going to get to speaking against his people, and your mouth is going to testify against you. You're going to get angry, then you're going to start setting up different stuff and plotting against his people. But you really ain't plotting against him, you're actually plotting against the Most High. Because you saying that he don't know what he doing. You should have picked me to do this. I'm stronger, faster, all of it. You should have picked me. So, in short, if you got that spirit of jealousy on you and you feel like, man, you better get it off you. Because it'll make you do some stuff. It'll make you even kill your own brother. So with that, say shalom. Shalom. That is say shalom. Any questions?
I'm feeling a certain kind of way as I look on the social media and see starting other stuff. And I feel a certain kind of way about it. I'm hurt, but I'm also, I got another feeling. It ain't hate, but I can't explain what it is. Am I wrong to have whatever this other feeling is? I can't even explain what it is. I guess you just said the word. That's about summing it up. It is really bothering me. What? It is like really bothering me.
Is this on?
No, it's hard.
I know what you're saying. I was just talking to Choir about this yesterday because I was feeling a certain type of way, right? And me and Travis and Maccabees was sitting at my house a couple days ago and we was having a conversation, and I heard some things that it just completely rubbed me the wrong way. You know what I mean? Some things personally about me, and it rubbed me the wrong way. And just, not to be like super spiritual about it or nothing like that. But that night, I had a dream. And this dream was like we was all in the same, it was like a feast. And we was all, everybody, the people who left, the people who here, we was all in this feast together, right? And it was just straight, just tension the whole time. It was like, dude, say one thing to me, it's on. And it was like I woke up with a real sour taste in my mouth. Like, I can't be feeling like this. You know what I mean? This is not right. So, me in particular, I reached out like, look, man, I just want to let you know, it ain't no hard feelings. I don't want you to feel like this. Because I felt like I had to just let it go. I gotta forgive. I gotta let things go. Not for them, but for me. You know what I'm saying? For me, it was making me feel a certain type of way. And like I was just sharing with the brothers before class, I felt a little bit of burden. You know what I'm saying? It kind of angered me. But you gotta let it go. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. What happened happened. It's nothing we can do to change it. It may not ever be the same, but at the same time, you can't let it affect you to the point to where it's going to affect your spirit. Just like I said, like the lesson Quab just went through. You see all these different, the envy and the jealousy started with murmuring. It started with murmuring. So don't even let the murmuring part take root. And that's what we was talking about a few weeks ago, is you got to cut it off at the root. Because just like the Mashiach said, just like Quab said, he brought out what the Mashiach said about how they hated him, so they hated the Father. Now you got these people that's going totally against the Mashiach, and they saying all I need is the Most High. So they'll say, I don't hate the Father, but the Mashiach not real. They speaking way worse things about him, right? So, but he's saying, the Mashiach is saying, well, if you hate me, you hate the Father. Why? Look at the root, because you found some discrepancies, what you thought was discrepancies in the scripture, and like that, you put me down, curse me, and the whole nine. What's going to happen when you find something that may not vibe with what you think it's supposed to say about the Father? You would do the same. So you got, you know what I'm saying? It ain't so simple as, well, oh no, my attachment to the Father is so strong. But no, because your attachment to this faith is so small that you will put it down like that because you don't have no foundation. So not to say, I'm talking about cutting it off at the root. You know what I'm saying? I understand how you feel, and I expressed this to so far that a bunch of us feel a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? We felt a feeling of betrayal because of the way he did things. But at the same time, it's been like 5 months. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I had to let it go. I had to let it go. And like you say, when people speak certain way about you, pray for them. You know what I'm saying? When people were saying all this stuff about Moses and about the Mashiach and about, look, he prayed, you know what I'm saying? They prayed, Dawid. Look, you took Saul out. Even though Saul tried to kill me, you took Saul out, you got to go. You feel me? Because it's going, it's affecting you. You just gotta, like you said, kill them with kindness. If just pray for them. You know what I'm saying? Because I personally, I can't wish no ill. I don't have no ill feelings toward them. They just started they own separate thing. I pray that they flourish and become what they want it to be, because that's what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? The Most High will be done, because ultimately you got to look at it for the good that it has done for us. You know what I mean? Over the past couple months, all of these different teachings that done came out were really been studied for the longest, but they had been stopped because there wasn't a full agreement among the teachers. You feel me? But when that portion, you know what I'm saying, when they went their own separate way, then it was like, okay, now we can bring this stuff out. And y'all see what it is. It's true. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a good thing for everybody involved. They don't necessarily agree. They got their own thing, and what's going to happen, going to happen. You got, I don't even say that, but,
I'll say this. Dealing with the lesson, what was just brought out, right? The thing that has helped deal with this, even just today, because like I was just talking to B before this. I had been talking to Quab about it beforehand. It's hard to get over that type of stuff, because you always in your mind like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like what was the purpose of this happening? Like, if David would have stayed in his mind, like, why is Saul trying to kill me? Why is Saul trying? It would have pissed him off and made him hate him as well. But David had wisdom. I know why. You know what I'm saying? I know why you feel this way about me. I'm doing this. You did. I know why. So we got to come to the realization of, this stuff happened for a reason. The Most High set up this whole situation for a reason. You know what I'm saying? They might not even be conscious to what the Most High actually did. You know what I'm saying? They was just in the scenario. You know what I'm saying? The Most High caused that split. The Most High caused what's going on to go on. You know what I'm saying? So when we come to the realization that, wait a minute, the Most High did this for good. Even though, just like in get Genesis 50 right quick. Even though what they done was, and even the stuff that they have been doing surrounding the whole situation, even though they did it for bad, the Most High meant it for good. You know what I'm saying? 50 and 17.
So you know that they actually doing stuff like dominating, you know what I'm saying? Purposely. They purposely trying to mess with you. Go ahead.
I guess my comment is, so how are you supposed to feel about the people that in our little group going back and forth over there? So when they come around, it's tension. And they just like, what are you supposed to do? I mean, what do you do? Because when these people come around, I feel some type of way. I really do. And I don't say nothing because I don't want to offend them. But what do you do?
Because you gotta look at it from their perspective, so to speak. They don't feel like, well, they didn't do nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? They didn't do nothing to me. So, why should I disassociate myself with them because they didn't do nothing to me?
But they don't understand the tension that it caused.
Yeah, well, but I'm telling you, this is why. Because they don't feel personally slighted. You know what I'm saying? They don't feel personally slighted, like they didn't take it personal. You know what I'm saying? They don't feel like
I didn't take it personally.
I took it personal.
I did.
I took it personally.
Okay,
It's my
family. That's how I felt.
Yeah. I took it 100% personal because that's the type of person that I am. I'm a loyal person. To every person in this room, I feel some sense of loyalty to. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let nobody talk bad about nobody in here, and anybody in here. If I have something to say about you, I can say it to your face. That's how I deal with everybody. You know what I mean? And I feel like I tell people all the time when people get into different things over Facebook and that type of thing.